Alright, so this right here is the brand new Oppo Reno8 Pro. Now, this of course is the brand new device by Oppo which was released yesterday for the Reno 8 series, and we're going to talk about the quick review. I've been using it for 12 to 24 hours, and a big thanks to Selection Mobiles, which is a nearby store in South Mumbai. So if you are from Mumbai or South Mumbai, the link is mentioned in the description and the address is also there. Do go ahead and check them out. Big shout out to them. But before we get into the details, if you haven't already, please subscribe because it doesn't cost you anything and it really motivates us to make amazing content like this. Now without further ado, let's start the quick review of the Oppo Reno 8. Now, when we talk about this beautiful design of the Oppo Reno series, what we actually see over here, this is actually the glazed green color that we are talking about. And the Oppo Reno series of phones over the years have been about design and camera. These have been their two main very important aspects. This year though, they are making some changes. The design is good, the camera is pretty good, but we are also getting some sort of value for money proposition because we will talk about the specifications of this. But first, let's quickly have a look at the design. Understand there is a Reno 8 device, the non-Pro variant as well. We don't have that, but it's just the chipset that is the difference. And towards the end of the video, we will talk about the specifications and the gaming performance of this device. For now, let me tell you this, the design accents of Oppo Reno series has been really nice, and this time around they have not disappointed as well. Look at these big camera bumps over here. Look at this small macro camera, and just look at the way the LED light has been placed. Very intuitive and very good design. Now if you also pay attention to this, what you will also notice is that this camera bump is there, but it is not cut out like other flagships. It's actually sliding off into a smooth single piece of glass, which makes the look and feel really nice. Even when you hold this device like this or like this, no matter which hand you're holding it in, it actually feels very good because of the slimness that you have. And this is one of the slimmest Reno devices ever, is what Oppo is claiming, and it really shows when you actually hold the device for the first time. Now understand, this device is 6.6 inches of display with a 93% screen to body ratio, but the weight is still managed at a very respectable 185 grams. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, we do get 4500 milliamp hours of battery along with 80 watts of super VOOC charging. So that's some really neat stuff. Now talking about charging over here, what Oppo does claim is in about 11 minutes you will get 50% battery, but what they also say is if you charge it just for 5 minutes, yes, just for 5 minutes, you'll be able to play for 2 hours. Now whether that is Subway Surfers or BGMI, I really don't know, but that's what Oppo is claiming. Now Oppo does claim that this design is based on the golden ratio which is found in nature and it is used by painters. I really don't have much detail on that, but to me this design looks really nice. Even if I were to hold this like this, it really looks smart. And yeah, just like any other normal phone these days, you do get a TPU case. Sorry, we are not doing an unboxing because the device is all we got and we have it for a very limited time, and such more videos will be coming on the channel. But let's see here. Let's actually fit the device in the case. Just like any other smartphone these days, you do get a soft TPU case. Now it feels very snug, it fits properly, and yeah, it looks great as well, doesn't it? So yeah, this color is really beautiful. There is one more color option that is available, and as I said, the Reno 8 Pro per se is only available in one variant, that is 12 GB of RAM, 250 GB of internal storage. Now before we move on to the ports and stuff, let me also tell you that this device is no polycarbonate. It is not plastic. You have glass at the back, glass at the front, and a metal frame at the side. Now this power button that you see over here, I don't know if you can see this properly, it has a green accent to it, so very nice. Now this is a Dimensity 8100 Max with 12 5G bands, dual 4G voice over LTE. It does come with Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 6 support, and a lot of other bells and whistles. So those things are pretty good. And if you want to use something like contactless payments and stuff, which is really rare in India these days, but yes, it does come with NFC. Now, before we actually move on to the other aspects of this wonderful phone, let's first talk about this beautiful, beautiful display, because that is what you're going to look at for the entire day and see. Already it looks pretty beautiful because of course this is an AMOLED panel with 120 Hz refresh rate, a 360 Hz touch sampling rate. So that's going to help you in gaming. It is HDR10 plus certified, which means you do have full wideband L1 support, and Netflix videos, Amazon Prime videos which are supported will play in HDR. And in terms of brightness, I really don't know how much is the nits in terms of brightness, but as you can see at full brightness it gets very bright, and that is always a good thing, especially when you're gaming. Now this is of course Oppo that we are talking about, and you all recently saw that I got the Realme GT2, which is by Realme, which is a sub brand of Oppo. So of course this device and that device has a lot of similarities despite having a lot of differences. So there will be a speed test between a Snapdragon 888 and a 8100 Max coming up, but let's get back to the topic. Now the important aspect to talk about over here is this. It is a Reno phone, so cameras is something that you should talk about, right? Now the main sensor over here is a f1.8 IMX766 by Sony. It's a 50 megapixel sensor. It is widely used in a lot of upper mid-range devices, and it's a pretty good sensor. We will do a full camera review maybe later, but for now I can tell you that the initial impressions are pretty good, and it looks really nice. Now apart from this, you do have a f2.48 megapixel ultra wide camera which has 112 degree of FOV. Now that's a little narrow for a ultra wide, but it does the job quite well. It's a pretty decent camera, nothing to write home about. And then you do have a 2 megapixel macro camera, or super macro, whatever you want to call it. In my opinion, 2 megapixel cameras, even if they are macros, are not really great. Now the downside to this camera system when you talk about video is you do get amazing clarity and stuff. So the moment you move to the video section, you will see that it can just do 4K 30. Unfortunately, it cannot do 4K 60. So there are a lot of things which will stop you from challenging the likes of 888 by Qualcomm, that is the Snapdragon 888, because that does give you 4K 60. Matter of fact, this angle that you see right now is being shot on the Realme GT2. So yes, 4K 60 is missing, but if we talk about the other aspects, the night mode on this particular camera is really interesting. It does have a Marisilicon chip, which is a dedicated NPU for night modes, night portraits. It allows you to take 4K night videos or 4K night vision videos. So when we do the camera review, we will definitely talk about them. And of course, this is a Reno device, so camera system has to be powerful. Even in the portrait mode, you do have a lot of adjustments for different bokeh effects, different times of bokeh, what bokeh do you want and stuff like those. And you do have some advanced features like film mode, which is always found in the leading Oppo devices. So the camera system on the Reno8 Pro, in my opinion, is pretty rock solid. It does a splendid job. Now when you talk about the UI, the smoothness is something that is really neat, and that gives you a very good experience. Now Oppo's own UI has a very fluid interface, and same goes with the Realme UI, so no complaints there. It does come with a ton of bloatware which can be uninstalled, so no big complaints over there. Of course, when we talk about software, let's go to the about section, and as you can see, this is the latest version of Oppo Reno8 Pro software, which is based on Android 12, and the ColorOS version is 12.1. Now you do get up to 7 gigabytes of RAM extension, and I did tell you that this is a 12 GB RAM variant which comes with 12 GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 256 GB of UFS 3.1 fast storage. So that's pretty good. That makes sure that your entire user interface is smooth and fluid at all the times. Recent app management or memory management is pretty rock solid, so no problems there for the Reno8 Pro. But the important part, how does it perform? What is the Antutu score? What is the Geekbench score? And how is the CPU throttling? Now, when I purchased the Realme GT2, I did think of going for the OnePlus 10R, but just because it did not have 4K 60 and it was a 8100 Max, I doubted the optimization, and Not exactly true, not exactly right, but let's show you the numbers first. Okay, first things first, let's talk about Antutu benchmark over here, and as you can see, we get a rock solid 733,641. This is about 27 degrees of room temperature, so very decent score. Now the temperature did increase by about 6 degrees, but the highest that is shown over here was 35.5 degrees, and the battery percentage consumed was 3%, so pretty decent stuff there. Now, if we further move on to Geekbench over here, alright, so when we talk about Geekbench, as you can see over here, a single core score of 900 and a multi-core score of 3525. Now, of course, single core performance on the 888 is pretty significantly high, it's above 1100, but the multi-core score is a little lower on the 888. So, these two chips are trading blows with each other, but let's actually go to the gallery and let's actually talk about the CPU throttling test, because that itself is a very important aspect. Now, I don't know how clearly you can see it, but max score of 252, 987 GIPS, very excellent result. Average 243, 879 and a CPU throttling of 95%. So yes, in terms of throttling, it did a pretty good score, and in terms of Geekbench, it was really nice. And in Antutu, it was about 100,000 points less than the 888. So what about gaming, you ask? Now, gaming on this particular device is pretty rock solid. One area where it triumphs the 888 is one, it heats up less compared to the Snapdragon 888, and two, they've partnered with BGMI, so you do get 90 FPS. Let me quickly go ahead and show you that. I have tried gaming, and there will be a dedicated gaming review coming of this device as well, because this is the first time I'm looking at a flagship chip from MediaTek, that is the Dimensity 8100 Max, and yeah, it'll be interesting to probably do a live stream. I'm not sure if I can do that, but yes, there'll be definitely a gaming review. So let's see, BGMI is loading over here, okay? Now, let me show you the settings over here. As you can see, you do get smooth 90, but the moment you go to balance, you get Ultra HD, you get Ultra HDR, you get Ultra. So this is sort of a compromise over here. If your device can do smooth 90, then at least you should give us balanced HD, extreme, HDR extreme and stuff like that. But whenever it is enabled, 90 FPS gives a pretty decent experience, even if you go to the gaming mode, which for some reason, yeah, I can see that now. So we are in the pro gamer mode. As you can see, you can enable the system status, and as you can see, it is giving you 90 FPS. So towards the end of the video, there are pretty good impressions that I have for this device. Let's actually talk about the price of this wonderful phone. It comes with a dedicated NPU, almost top shelf performance, specifications, very good display, very decent camera, although the camera does lack optical image stabilization and 60 FPS at 4K. Those are the two things that would probably be the Achilles heel for this device's camera. And other things that I see here, I don't see anything missing. It is very interesting to see a great device by Oppo. Now, this has been launched at 45,999 with a cashback about 4,000 rupees. So it does cost you 42,000. Now, understand Realme GT2 was recently on sale, which comes with OIS, 4K 60 FPS, a Snapdragon 888, but it doesn't give you 90 FPS. That is the one thing it misses out on. And instead of 80 watts, it gives you 65 watts charging. We'll talk about the comparison video later, but that device is around 35,000 rupees for 12 to 56, and this is about 42,000. Now, from a design point of view, from a look point of view, this is a splendid offering from Oppo, and I'm pretty sure with offers, it will come around 38 to 40 very soon. So yeah, if you don't mind missing out on the two things that I mentioned, 4K 60 missing and OIS missing, I think you can definitely go for this device. Oppo have done a splendid job to design such a beautiful camera system. It looks really stand out, and it works really well with the fast charging and decent battery life as well. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.